Hi everyone, this is Anthony from Street Over Realty, following up on the City of Chicago's Landlord Tenant Ordinance Summary. The topics I'm going to cover today is subleases, what happens if a tenant pays rent late, and what happens if a tenant pays rent after the expiration of time period set forth in a termination notice. So let's go over subleases. It states that the landlord must accept a reasonable sublet offered by the tenant without charging additional fees. If a tenant moves prior to the end of the rental agreement, the landlord must make a good faith effort to find a new tenant at a fair rent. If the landlord is unsuccessful in re renting the unit, the tenant remains liable for the rent under the rental agreement as well as the landlord's cost of advertising. Now, a couple of things just to note on this is that there may be some other revisions to this based off of what you had discussed with the owner directly, or if, an example, a condo high rise building, they may have certain policies in place regarding subleases that have to be followed as well. So please be mindful of this when you're reviewing your lease and then also moving into a certain condo building. Make sure you review those rules and regulations that they have in place. Now, in regards to what happens if a tenant pays rent late. If a tenant fails to pay rent on time, the landlord may charge a late fee of $10 per month on rent under $500 plus 5% per month on the part of the rent that exceeds $500. For example, $450 monthly rent, the late fee is $10. For a $700 monthly rent late fee, it is $10 plus 5% of the $200 portion, or $20 total. Now, what happens if a tenant pays rent due after the expiration of the time period set forth in the termination notice? If the landlord accepts the rent due knowing that there is a default to payment, the tenant may stay. I hope you guys find this information helpful. Please be on the lookout for the remaining portion of the landlord tenant ordinance summary. Thank you.